yes, we can send an apology.
Good afternoon, all. So should we start or should we wait for 2-3 minutes more?
We can start, ma'am.
Okay. Fine. So I hope so everybody have good afternoon, everyone. I hope so everybody now got free from their tax audits and statutory audits. Now let us move to the part of GST audit, where we are required to file our GSTR-9 9C by 31st December 2023. So today we will be discussing about the basic structure of our 9C, plus what are the things to be reported in which table, in which row, and how it should be reported properly, so that in future, when if anything you have missed out while doing your 22-23 GST reconciliation, or if any error has happened, that could be taken care of while filing your GSTR 9 and 9C. Plus, if any liability short paid can be also discharged. If ITC missed to be claimed, can be claimed now. Though 9C is not a form for claiming ITC, but you have an option to claim it by way of GSTR 3B. As time limit for claiming ITC has been increased, you have a time by 30th November. So this October is the last return GSTR 3B, which you are going to file by 20th October. Then you can claim if any ITC has been missed to be claimed. Unavailed ITC can be taken care. So what are the things? Let us begin our session. The things which need to be understand is what is 9 and 9C. As of now, it's feel like we have completed 6 years of GST. So all of us are now aware what are the data need to be filled, how it need to be filled. But still, there are cases where due to discrepancy in GSTR 9 and 9C filing has resulted in selection of audits for the purpose of investigation. Due to if huge differences are there, unreconciled differences, where nothing has been specified, reason for unreconciliation have been marked as a red flag and have been put on to the officer to verify whether is there any tax evasion or excess availment of ITC. Now, GSTR 9 and 9C. 9, as we know, is the annual return and 9C is a reconciliation statement. Though 9C, which was earlier required to be satisfied by the CA, has been now removed. It can be submitted on self-certified basis. The filing method, the filing limit, which they have earlier specified, that only they are continuing for 22-23 also. For 9, and it was 2 crore, still it is 2 crore. And for 9C, if your turnover is above 5 crore, you are required to file your GSTR 9C. This was for 21-22 also, same is continue for 22-23. Now 9 and 9C. 9 is the basis on which we have paid our tax in GSTR 1 and 3B. On that basis, we file our GSTR 9. But when we come to 9C, it starts with our audited financial statement, revenue reported in there. So what's the revenue from operation you have reported in your audited balance sheet? From there, we drive our GSTR turnover, which is declared in your GSTR 9. And from there, we drive our taxable turnover and make sure the tax which is payable on the same is being paid. So as 9 is what we done, means what we file in our 1 and 3B, what the value we declare as taxable, non-taxable, on which we have discharged our liability under RCM, how much ITC we have claimed, all those disclosure which we have given in 1 and 3B. On that basis, we file our 9. Now, when we come to 9C, as I said, we start with our audited turnover. So when we start with audited turnover, we do one verification check over here to make sure when we start with audited turnover, all things on which tax is payable has been paid. If I am considering something an exemption, there should be a base on what basis I am considering an exemption. Means by relying on which serial number of notification number, I am saying this is my exempt supply. Plus, we also check while doing our 99C that if I have a variety of rates, if I'm in an industry where are different rates of goods or services are there, I have to make sure I charge my transaction in line with the rate applicable. And as per that rate, sometime if reduced rate or lower rate is provided, they are provided with the condition that you can't avail ITC. So we have to make sure there is a correlation between ITC avail and against which the same has been used. If you are in an industry, you are having a variety of rate. But if you are having a rate of 18% where there is no ITC restriction, then there is no such correlation required, even if you have a different services. With this, we will move to what GSTR-9 consists of and what 9C consists of. When we see GSTR-9, it consists of 6 parts and 19 tables. And all these tables we have to report. But there are certain optional fields still provided. Like in case of HSN wise of outward supply is now mandatory to furnish, but inward supply is still optional in it. Then comes our GSTR-9C, which consists of 5 parts and 16 tables, where we furnish our all the information in relation to taxable turnover, ITC claim, and RCM paid, with even with the expense bifurcation on which we are claiming the ITC. That is the table 14 of GSTR-9C. Now, what are the source of information which we required for the purpose of filing our 9C? As 9C is GSTR-1, GSTR-3B, audited books of account, and GSTR-2B. These are our primary source which we use while filing our GSTR-9 and 9C. And the additional information is the adjustment of this year, which is carried forward in the next year, or adjustment of last year carry forward in the current year. If any of this situation is there, means brought forward or carry forward, that information also need to be taken care. Plus, if there has been any audit, investigation, scrutiny, anything for the financial year 22-23, that also need to be considered, because there is a specific table which provide for furnishing of detail in relation to demand. If any demand order you have received, against whom either you might have accepted and paid, or you might have been disputed the same, the disclosure of the same also required need to be provided, though it is optional. Then comes your refund. If you are into an export or you have an inverted duty structure, if you have claimed any refund in relation to 22-23, in 22-23, or any of the previous year claim in 22-23, that detail is also required to be disclosed in GSTR-9. For that also, this is also the source of information for filing your GSTR-9 and 9C. Now, for turnover reporting, as I said, it starts with audited financial statement. So GSTR-9C start with your audited financial statement. So over here, when we start, we write our total turnover as per audited balance sheet. If you have one registration, but where you are having multiple registration, this will be based on GSTN wise turnover. So if one pen, then 100 rupees. But if you are having 5 different GSTN, so based on GSTN, you have to disclose over here turnover, and the GSTN wise total, when anybody did of this GSTR-9C5A, then it should match with the total of your audited financial statement. From this audited financial statement, when we see our revenue from operation, it not only include of taxable turnover, but it also include various other adjustment. Adjustment may be in relation to your discount, maybe forex. It may be a case of interest being exempt income, discount, So my audited financial statement, revenue from operation, which is shown over there, it's not my GST turnover. But for that I have to arrive at my GST turnover. For arriving this, we have to do all this adjustment, which has been provided in your GSTR-9C. So the first step while doing our 99C is to drive our GST turnover from the audited financial statement. So over here, it has been specified which are the adjustment we can do is unbilled revenue, unadjusted advances. Advances is taxable only in case of services. In case of goods, there is no need to disclose over here. But if you have received advance on services, you have to make sure advance which is received during the period, on that you must have paid the tax, and while adjusting it, while raising the invoice, same has been reduced from while filing your GSTR 3B, basically net off. So unadjusted advance at the financial year is disclosed over here. 1 minute. Then come your deemed supply. Deemed supply is basically transaction between units. So if you're having a multiple GST, any supply from one unit to another unit is taxable under GST, but as for the purpose of audited financial statement, it doesn't form part of it. But while doing your GSTR-9C, you have to make sure you identify this deemed supply and disclose over here. Deemed supply is basically schedule 1. Over here, sometimes people doesn't look into what figure need to be provided, and just for the basis of adjustment, they did it. Even though over here it is showing plus, they put it in negative. You need to be very much careful you don't do that error. Where it is add, it's mean add only, you have to provide in positive only. Where negative, it need to be automatically take negative only. Then if any credit note is there, which you have issued after the time limit, commercial credit note, this is not relevant. G has been now not relevant because as we are doing for 22-23. Then trade discount, the discount which is not pre-decided, which does not impact your valuation, that you need to disclose. Unbilled revenue is provision which you have created, opening and closing need to be adjusted. Similarly, for advance, opening and closing need to be adjusted. With any credit note which you have shown, which is a commercial credit note, need to be disclosed. Any adjustment you did. This is composition scheme. It is basically relevant for the people who have converted from composition to regular. Any valuation adjustment. Now, forex adjustment, though it will be there in your turnover, but it doesn't form part of your GST turnover. And any other reason which does not qualify in any of the above, you have to disclose, like discount. And then you will get your annual turnover. Now over here, when we say annual turnover, it is a GST turnover which you will be driving over here, which they will match with your GSTR-9 turnover, which you have disclosed in table 4 and 5 of GSTR-9. So if there is a mismatch, then you have to furnish your unreconciled. By reason for unreconciliation of the same need to be furnished in table 6 of GSTR-9C. So basically, after driving your GST turnover, when I drive my GST turnover, it will consist of also taxable supply on which I have paid tax. It will also consist of non-taxable supply, like which is exempted from tax. So GSTR-9 consists of two tables, table 4, table 5. Table 4 basically relates to the supply on which you have paid the taxes, and table 5 relates to on which tax is not payable, like export without payment of tax, SEZ without payment of tax, exempt supply, nil supply, supply which is covered under RCM, on which your recipient is liable to pay tax. When I say supply covered under RCM, I am saying table 5 is relevant for outward supply. Outward supply provided by you, which is under RCM, like sponsorship service. If any one of you is providing sponsorship service, not receiving, providing. When any of you are providing sponsorship service, that need to be disclosed in table 5. But if any one of you is receiving sponsorship service on which you are liable to pay tax under RCM, it will be disclosed in table 4. So this is the description. What are the things to be reported in table 4 of GSTR-9? 4A to 4E. So once we drive our GST turnover, we have to bifurcate that turnover in rate wise, supply type wise, tax type wise. When I say supply type wise, I mean B2B, B2C, export with pay, without pay, deem export, supply covered under RCM, all that bifurcation need to be done. Plus bifurcation is not only limited to supply tax wise, it also need to be done based on document wise, means tax invoice, credit note, debit note. And all these tables are now mandatory to be reported. There cannot be a case where you can do your adjustment on net basis, you can disclose. It is only B2C in table 4A, which you can disclose on net basis, because B2C we furnish in our GSTR-1 also on net basis. So B2C you will show on a summary basis. B2B transaction in 4B, you will only show tax invoice which is raised during the period. Similarly, for export also, export invoice which you have raised, and deem export also. For tax invoice against which if you have raised any credit note, you have to disclose separately in table 4FI, not in 4B. Don't club in 4B, because what is happening? Officer is now matching your GSTR-9 reporting with the detail furnished in GSTR-1 and 3B. So if in GSTR-1 you have shown some credit note and debit note, they want it to be properly appearing over there to be sure of that the data are actually matching and there is no discrepancy. If they find that discrepancy, they are issuing notices. So proper notice will help you in reducing the litigation. So, and debit note, if any, then 4J. If any amendment is made by you, now amendment can be within the period or it may be after the period, means it may be within the financial year 22-23, it can be in 23-24. The amendment which you have made within the period, means financial year 22-23, that you need to report in 4K and 4L based on the impact, whether it is having a positive impact or negative impact. Positive impact, then you will disclose in 4K. If negative impact, then 4L. As we discussed for table 4, which deals with tax paid. Table 5 deals with where tax is not payable. So where this is without payment, this all need to be disclosed over here. So while doing GSTR-9 reporting is very important. So while doing your RICO from audited financial to driving to the GST turnover and then taxable turnover, you need to make sure you do your bifurcation in multi-dimensional way. When I say multi-dimensional, means keeping in mind what are the supply, your supplier, means you are into goods industry or service, maybe both. Or when you are providing the goods, the variety of goods you are dealing, what's the GST rate you are dealing with, what are the types of customer you are having, maybe B2C, B2B, your supply is domestic or it also get exported. All that bifurcation need to be done in order to report properly in your GSTR-9 and 9C. So turnover of 5N, taxable and exempted. Now, over here also, if you will see, we have an option for credit note and debit note. So over here also, you have to show any export related credit note or debit note you have raised, 4A, 5B and C. You have to show over here in 5H and 5I. Though there is still an option is available, it's not mandatory, but it is advisable if you disclose separately, because in GSTR-1 also you are disclosing it separately. So it will work as a reconciliation for the officer. Then this is with outward reporting. Now coming to ITC reporting. Input tax credit, the relevant table which is there in 9 and 9C. Input tax credit we report in our table 6, table 7, and table 8. These are the three table of GSTR-9, which is important from the point of input tax credit. And when we come to 9C, it is table 12 and table 14. Now, one by one, we will go how it need to be reported and what need to be reported. Now, electronic credit ledger, which is where whenever we file our GSTR 3B, obviously whatever credit we disclose over there is been credited into electronic credit ledger. So one is what we reported to 3B, which is our net ITC avail in 4C, that is as per 3B. But there are cases of direct entry also, where you have input tax credit is Tran 1, Tran 2, ITC 01 and ITC 02. So in this situation, it will be reported in table 6K to 6M of your GSTR-9, and which has came through GSTR 3B, it will be reported from 6B to 6H. Now we will understand from where the data flow of GSTR 3B will be get matched with your GSTR-9. So GSTR 3B, table 4A5, where we are disclosing all other ITC. That data will be there in table 6B and 6H. Reverse charge. That data we will be showing in 4A3, which you have to report in 6C and 6D based on the registration of your supplier. If your supplier is registered, though covered under RCM, then you will report in 6C. If unregistered, then 6D. Import of goods, if you have, which is reported in 4A1, you need to report in 6E of GSTR-9. Similarly, for import of service, which we report in 4A2, it need to be reported in 6F. ISD credit, if you have, then 4A4, which has been reported, need to be reported in 6G. And all this data should correspond. As you know that GSTR 3B reporting mechanism, they have changed from August 2022, they changed and they prescribed how it need to be reported. The purpose of making that mechanism stagnant is to make sure that data correspondingly also flow in GSTR-9 and there will be a matching for that. Plus, we have a concept of 4B1 and 4B2, which deals with permanent reversal and temporary reversal. So whatever is your permanent reversal in 4B1 and temporary reversal in 4B2, that will be recorded, that will be reported in table 7, where you will be giving your reversal, what is for rule 37, 39, 42, 43, and other reversal. Other reversal which is there, over there you will be going to report your temporary reversal, which is a reason other than rule 37 and 39. So once we do our bifurcation of table 6, what is the ITC avail as per GSTR-9, and table 7, ITC reverse as reported in GSTR-9. That is the net ITC avail I get in 7J, which represent my ITC which I have availed and utilized toward the tax liability discharge. Plus, it may be a case where my ITC is more than tax payable, so it will also consist of unused ITC. So utilize ITC which is there, it will go in table 9. In table 9 of GSTR-9, there is an auto population of tax payable based on the data we furnish in table 4. That auto population over there, then we write how much we have utilized through cash, how much we have utilized through ITC, and we do the adjustment. So that is work as table 9. Electronic credit ledger, which is left to be utilized, will match with my electronic credit ledger closing balance. So you have to make sure the data which you get in your 7J should be total of this table 9 plus electronic credit ledger closing balance showing on your GST portal of March 23. Table 4C of GSTR 3B, which is the net ITC availment. These are all validation check while filing your GSTR 9 and 9C you should do to make sure that it has been properly reported and there is no discrepancy. If there is a discrepancy, this validation check will help you to take necessary step which is required to correct it. So net ITC avail is basically your table 6B to 6H. What is I have disclosed as my total ITC availment less the ITC reverse. This net of it will match with my ITC net claim after reversal. If it is not matching, there may be a case you might have excess avail or you might have short avail. So accordingly, you have to take the action. If you have excess avail, you have to pay it. If there is a short availment, this is the time is still there, you can claim it. So then there may be a case also that 22-23 credit you have carry forward in 23-24. The ITC, which is carry forward in 23-24, it need to be reported in your table 13 of GSTR-9 and table 12 of GSTR-9C. So the table 10, 11, 12, 13 of GSTR-9 deals with the adjustment or impact of 22-23, which has been made in 23-24. So if any ITC has been carried forward and claimed in 23-24, then you have to report in table 13. Plus, it also need to be reported in your table 12 of GSTR-9C that this much of ITC you are carry forwarding and claiming in 23-24. Now, how you can make sure that your validation is correct is ITC which you have net avail and reported in GSTR-9 plus your table 13 of GSTR-9 means you are saying to be carry forward. Less if any ITC of last year, since 21-22, you have claimed in 22-23. If you do that reduction, it will match with your ITC claim as per, ITC available as per books. Means what you have accounted in your books, it will match with it. So table 12 of GSTR-9C, where I say this is my total ITC available as per books. Over there, I do addition of last year ITC claim in this year and do reduction of this year ITC carry forward in the next year. I get my ITC availed during the year. In a similar fashion, this check will help you to make sure that reporting is correctly done. Now moving on to RCM reporting. Now, as I discussed in my earlier slide, RCM can come in two cases. Means RCM can be a outward supply which is provided by you, may be covered under RCM, which you have to report in table 5. Over here, when I am talking about RCM, I am talking about expenses on which you are liable to pay under RCM. The expenses on which you are liable to pay under RCM need to be reported in table 4G of GSTR-9. Now over here, whatever whatever tax you are showing to be payable under RCM, you have to make sure that tax paid cannot exceed ITC avail under RCM. So ITC which I am availing under RCM, I report in table 6C and 6D of GSTR-9. So make sure your table 4G should be either less or equal to your table 6 plus table 6D of GSTR-9. If it is an excess, then there is some error. It may also be a case of excess if last year ITC you have missed out to claim and you have claim in this year, but maintain a proper record of it because this all are the specific check with the officer do to make sure your GSTR-9 is correctly filed. So as discussed, you have to make sure your 6C plus 6D means ITC claim under RCM should be either less than or equal to IT tax paid under RCM, that is table 4G of GSTR-9. Plus, you have to also see your GSTR-2A because the parties who are registered, they will be obviously filing their GSTR-1 return showing that tax is payable under RCM. At that time, the tax payable under RCM, the transaction which they are disclosing in GSTR-2A, if it is more than what you are saying to be payable under your GSTR-3B, or in your GSTR-9, then you have to make sure that what is the reason for difference. It may be a case that supplier by mistake has clicked on RCM yes, or it may be a case you missed out to pay tax on it. So you have to take action on the same, keeping in mind that if you are saying that supplier has by mistake keep on under RCM, you make sure still there is a time that your supplier can make amendment. As I said, 30th November is the last day to make amendment or to claim ITC. So you can intimate your suppliers to make corrective action so that no liability arised. Now, another table which deals with ITC part is your table 8, which is basically based on your GSTR-2A. So total ITC, which you are shown that you have claimed as per table 6. Total ITC, which you are showing that you have claimed as per table 6, it get matched with your ITC, which is auto-populated based on GSTR-2A of GSTR-9. So over here, just this is one of the example we have taken for better understanding is suppose my 8A of GSTR-9 is showing 200. And you have reported in your electronic credit ledger or you have availed the ITC of only 120. Now, this 120 which you have reported, out of which eligible which is there is 60, which will auto-populate in 8B. Even if it is ineligible and you have availed, it will auto-populate in 8B only because GSTR-9 doesn't provide any breakup which is eligible or ineligible. You only do because 9 can identify which one you are doing as eligible and they just go on reporting on your basis. And there will be a case where which is representing in your GSTR-2A, but you have carried out in next year. There may be also a case where you have missed out to report and the ITC which is ineligible and not available. So accordingly, based on the data, means what you have reported in table 6 will get auto-populated in your table 8B. ITC which you are going to carry forward, you have to separately report yourself in table 8C. How much your ITC from 2A, you are saying that you have carried forward in next year. Then if any credit which has been missed out, which you should have claimed, but you have missed out to claim, that also will fall part of 8C because you have a time to claim if you claim it. But if you haven't claimed, it will get lapsed and then you have to show it in 8E. And if it is ineligible, disclosure need to be made in 8F of GSTR-9. Now, this is again another validation check. That is to make sure that, as I said, ITC which you are carry forwarding, we disclose in table 13 of GSTR-9. So you have to make sure that in 8C also we show what is the ITC you are carry forwarding. 8C is basically shown based on GSTR-2A, whereas table 12 of GSTR-9C is shown on the basis of your books. So there may be a difference. But the ITC which you are saying to be carried forward based on table 8C should be less than or equal to your table 13. If it is not less than or equal to table 13, if it is greater, there may be a case where maybe the data has not been properly auto-populated. In the case of imports, it happened, or where the RCM is applicable, but supplier has not made the amendment. At that time, you have to make a proper reconciliation for your reference that whenever any audit or investigation happen, you can furnish that reco on what basis you have furnished your detail in 8C and table 13. This is again a cross check. is what is your audited balance sheet book turnover you are showing. There will be a case where which you have discharged during the financial year 22-23. That is what you have reported in table 4. Now the impact which has been carried forward to next year, you will be showing in your 23-24, which will be reported in table 10 and 11 of GSTR-9. And if you haven't carried forward, but you have identified that there is a short payment, you have to pay through DRC03. So what is your turnover which you have disclosed, which will match with your taxable turnover is table 4 plus table 10 minus table 11. This is your next taxable turnover, which you are saying is payable for the financial year 22-23. And this is on what you are liable to tax paid and what you have paid. So, as I said, there is still a time to make amendment till November 2023 for any error if it has been done while filing GSTR-1 or 3B in respect of output tax payable or in respect of ITC. If you haven't made those amendments, but as we are before that date, if you have made amendment, accordingly, you will take care in table 10, 11, 12, and 13. But if anything has been missed, even after 2023, if any additional liability is there, if additional liability is on account of output tax payable, then you have to discharge through DRC03. If it is on account of excess ITC claim, then also ineligible ITC claim or GST, and while doing 9(9)C, you are identify any tax payables, then you can pay through DRC03. But the thing is that when you are paying to GSTR-9(9)C, you have to make sure that if it is an output tax liability, that could paid only through cash. But if it is a credit related adjustment because you have availed ineligible or there is an excess claim as compared to your GSTR-2A, then you can use credit. But for discharging output tax, you can't use credit. Outward HSN reporting. This is also important where people are missing to report in table 17. Table 17 is mandatory to report as HSN wise. As HSN reporting is made mandatory for every taxpayer whose turnover is above 5 crore. So they need to make sure whatever turnover they have reported in their GSTR-9, in their table 4, table 5, plus table 10 and 11. After taking that adjustment, whatever the net turnover which they are saying on which their GST turnover is, that GST turnover full HSN disclosure need to be done, irrespective of fact whether it is a taxable turnover or not. Even for export related in table 17, you have to disclose it. Exempt turnover also required need to be reported in your table 17 with HSN details. And this total should match with your GST turnover, which you are showing in GSTR-9C. Now, 9C related validation check, like first from table 4 and table 5 of GSTR-9, we get our GST turnover. That is the turnover which will be auto-populated in your 9C. So when we get our GST turnover based on table 5N, which is taxable plus exempt, and anything which we have carried forward in the next year, 23-24, that is table 10 minus table 11. This is what the gross GST turnover which we are going to get and which should match with my table 5 of GSTR-9C. Once we get our GST turnover, then we arrive at our taxable turnover. Now, taxable turnover we report in GSTR-9 table 4. That table 4 N of GSTR-9, which is giving me the total taxable supply net of credit note, debit note, or advances. That less, if anything, because Table 4 also consists of one component, table 4G, which is inward supply liable under RCM. That is not my GST turnover. That is not my outward supply. So that need to be reduced. Any adjustment of taxable turnover, which is done in table 10 and 11, net of it will match with my table 7 of GSTR-9. GSTR table 9 of GSTR-9 show me the tax payable that will should match with my rate wise reporting of GSTR-9C. In table 6 and table 7, where I give my ITC disclosure, ITC away, less my ITC reverse, the net ITC which I am reporting in GSTR-9 will you have to reconcile with ITC as per books, which is given in table 12. So we will write what is my ITC as per books as per table 12, any carry forward and brought forward. Then we get the net ITC. The net ITC which we are disclosing in GSTR-9C should match with my net ITC I have availed and shown in my GSTR-9. Table 14, this expense-wise bifurcation is very important, though still it's optional not to report, but it's better if we do this reconciliation to make sure that there is nothing missed out for the ITC to be claimed and for any expenses covered under RC. So what we can do is basically we can divide our purchases with payment of tax and without payment of tax. Now, which are with payment of tax? Now we can check whether it is where I'm eligible to claim ITC or not. When we are talking about table 14, it doesn't mean that only on which you have availed the ITC need to be reported. Your total expenses shown in your audited financial statement need to be reported over here, irrespective of fact where there is any tax component or not, or it is exempt supply. So when you are reporting over there, you will write full expenses based on your PL. Then you will write the total ITC available. Now, when I say total ITC available, it will not only consist of eligible ITC, it will also consist of ineligible ITC. So first part is total ITC available. Then it shows what is ITC available. So total can be more than ITC available. So over there, you will write whatever the expenses on which GST is suffered. It may be also a case of RCM also, both will be included there. So total ITC available. Then the ITC which you have actually claimed, you will write in the table 14, which should match with your table 12, your table 12D. That is the net ITC avail in GSTR-9. So this were the reporting purpose. Now I will ask Bharti to take over it and explain how it need to be done in GSTZen.
Hello. Hello. Utkarsh, am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Okay. Good afternoon. This is Bharti from GSTZen. So now Ashika ma'am has explained everything regarding the rules and the tables of GSTR-9. I'll be showing the demo of how to go about filing 9 and 9C through GSTZ. The process is very simple. There are short steps to be taken to file your 9 and 9C. I hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. So this is what GSTZen's dashboard looks like. So once you sign up, you can add your GST number here. Just a moment. Okay. So you can add any GST number you want, and all the GST numbers that are added to your profile will be visible on the GSTZen dashboard. To perform a function for any particular GST number, what you do is you select that GST number from here. It will take you to quick actions menu. all the services within the GST number are available here. You can download your various reports, your GSTR-1, 2A, 2B, ITC-04, electronic ledger report, and your e-wable report as well. Plus, we provide this consolidated report, that is GSTR-1 versus 2A versus 3B. This is essentially very helpful when you file GSTR-9. It gives you a comparison among various returns. So you will be able to see GSTR-1 compared with the figures of GSTR-3B. Similarly, 2A or 2B figures compared with GSTR-3B, as well as books comparison with your filed returns. The next tab gives you the option to reconcile your books with the portal data. You can reconcile your purchase register with GSTR-2A, purchase register with GSTR-2B, sales register with GSTR-1, as well as e-invoices. The last tab provides you the option for filing returns. You can file your GSTR-1, 3B, 9, and 9C. The first I'm selecting GSTR-9, and then you select the filing period. So there are various reports, the data which you need to have before you file your GSTR-9. So you need to have your 22-23 data as well as the 23-24. You can file, as you all know, you can report your sales invoices or claim ITC of data belonging to 22-23 in 23-24 as well. So you need to get the data from both years. So if I click here, it will take me to this page. I'm logged in with OTP and I can download all the data in one instance. Whereas in the portal, if you want to get a consolidated report, you would have to download each month's return separately. Then you'd have to download each return separately as well. Here you can just select all the returns, that is your GSTR-9 auto-populated data, your GSTR-9 table 8A, GSTR-1, 2A, 2B, 3B. All of it you can select at once and click on download data from the government portal. And then in the background you can see everything is starting to download, and then you can select the data of the next financial year also, where you can report the data of 22-23. So this is also now downloading. So going back to this GSTR-9 page, so here you will get the consolidated report of 22-23. This is essentially your report, GSTR-1 versus 2A versus 3B. This report is what we are providing here that will help you in filing of GSTR-9. If you want 2A to be replaced with 2B, you can download this report, or if you want 2A, you can get this report. So I'll just show you how the report works. Plus, you can also get the auto-populated data of GSTR-1, GSTR-9. If you have filed GSTR-9 already, here you will get the filed details of GSTR-9. Let's take a look at the report. So you'll get the yearly data. This is GSTR-1 consolidated. So if you see this tab, the cells here in blue, it is giving GSTR-1 summary calculated by the government portal. So this data is based on the filing period. So whatever you have filed during 22-23 will come here. Whereas this data is based on invoice date. So it will also include all the data that belongs to 22-23 but has been reported in 23-24, and all of it is segregated into various tables and months. So you have summary level data here, and you can verify the details and prepare your GSTR-9. Similarly, we have GSTR-3 we consolidated as well. This GSTR-1 summary is the summary of whole year. Similarly, GSTR-3B. Then you have comparison of ITC that is available in GSTR-2A and what is claimed in GSTR-3B. So you can see the month-wise difference and yearly difference. Plus you have books comparison with 3B. Then you have GSTR-1 liability comparison with GSTR-3B. This is GSTR-9 summary prepared by GSTZen based on your filed returns. You can also refer to this for filing your GSTR-9. Here we are providing the sales overview. This will provide books versus GSTR-1. Then it will provide books versus GSTR-3B and GSTR-1 versus 3B. So all information that you require for filing GSTR-9, you'll be able to get from one single report. Similarly, you have purchase overview as well. Okay. So now going back to GSTR-9 page, we download the auto calculated data from the government portal. This is the summary that is generated by the government portal for your GSTR-9. So there are various methods with which you can prepare your GSTR-9. First is based on calculated by GSTZen, that is based on your filed returns. The second one is calculated by the government portal. And the third one is where you can enter the details yourself. So I'm clicking this option fill. So you have all the three options here, calculated by government portal. So all the figures are auto populated in these tables based on the calculation done by the government portal. Then you have calculated by GSTZen. So these figures are calculated based on your filed returns. You can use this to file your GSTR-9. And then if you want to give the calculations and the figures, you want to enter them yourself, you have this option, values entered by you. So this also you can provide and enter here. So I'm choosing the government calculated data. So save form. So I've chosen this method to prepare my GSTR-9 and I've saved the details. Once the details are saved, I choose to go back here. As the main issue that comes up here, people want to check what is coming in their GSTR-9 table 8A. So this also you can get from this report. This report will give you GSTR-9 table 8A details and compare it with GSTR-2A. What is appearing in your GSTR-2A? All the details might not be eligible for claiming ITC, and whatever is the government deems as eligible, it provides in table 8A. So this report will give you a comparison of table 8A and GSTR-2A. You can find the reference between what is there actually in 2A and what you have been allowed by the portal to claim. So you can see match status that is coming in both. You can filter by details only in GSTR-2A because all the details which are in 2A, most of the details would be present in 8A, but some entries which are there in 2A will not be eligible for claiming. So here, this is the entry which is not there in GSTR-2A. You can, GSTR-8A. You can find the difference this way. It will help you in reconciling your ITC for GSTR-9. Okay. So moving on, I have saved my payload, prepared my GSTR-9 based on the details auto calculated by the government portal. Then you can provide your HSN SAC summary for outward supplies as well as inward supplies by uploading an Excel. In the portal, you have to add an entry one by one. Here you will be able to upload the Excel directly. it will help you save time. So once you have uploaded everything here, you can check your GSTR-9 for consistency. This is a series of checks that GSTZen performs based on your logics, and it will show you whether your data has passed those checks. This will not disallow you from filing GSTR-9. This is just warning you that there is a mismatch between the data, and you should check the details you are filing before you go ahead. So as you can see, it has failed the comparison of tax liability for 22-23 declared in 23-24, and all the others have passed. So you can check before filing. But even if you do not want to, if you say that your data is correct, even though it might be failing one or two checks here, you can go ahead and file if you have reason for this discrepancy. This is just for you to give you a series of checks and ensure that you are filing GSTR-9 without any mistakes. Once you have reviewed your GST, this validation report, you upload your return to the government portal. Once it is uploaded, you can download the summary, submit return, and file your GSTR-9. So as you can see, the process is very simple, and there are a few steps which you need to take. It is easy to file GSTR-9 through GSTZen. Now moving on to GSTR-9C. So I select GSTR-9C and the year. So here, if you have already filed your GSTR-9, so essentially you file your GSTR-9C after filing 9, you download your filed GSTR-9. So if it is there, it will come. Otherwise, it won't get downloaded. So GSTR-9C you can file based on your filed detail of GSTR-9, or you can upload your JSON also. You have the option of filling the details in GSTZen. You can choose the data. This process is similar to GSTR-9. Either you can provide the data that is already present in the GST portal, or you can enter the values yourself. So I'm just choosing data filled in GSTR-9. So as you know, right now we have not filed our GSTR-9, so this data is empty. I can just save the form here. I'm just showing you the process of filing at the moment, and go back. Once you have prepared your payload, the next step is to upload the documents. You'll have to upload your balance sheet, profit and loss statements, and any other supporting documents. Once these are uploaded, in the next step, you upload these documents to the GST portal. After that, you just have to upload your return. You get the summary to make sure all the data that has been uploaded is correct, and then you can proceed to file. The process is very simple. GSTR-9C filing only takes 10 minutes or so of your time. GSTR-9 also, if you have all the data prepared, should not take you more than 10 to 15 minutes to complete the whole process. Okay, so if anybody here has any questions regarding this process or GSTR-9, please go ahead and ask your questions.
Participants can unmute themselves and ask the questions.
Are you particularly discussing only GSTR-9 from Zen, or any other questions are also entertained?
Any questions regarding 9 and 9C that you might have?
You explain multiple GST and 9Cs, how if a registration has multiple GSTs in different states, how to show that in table 5A from the AFS statements? Should total turnover be shown or state-wise bifurcation should be shown in the AFS if it has multiple GSTNs?
You have to show state-wise turnover.
Thank you.
In table 5A of GSTR-9C, you have to show state-wise. Just you have to make sure all your GST and state-wise, which you have shown in 9C, when you do the total, it match with your audited financial total.
Hello. Yeah, this is Aktivelan. Hello.
Yes, sir.
So you have to set that the ITC's input tax is captured from 2A instead of 2B. Yeah, we will capture from 2A or 2B for this calculation purpose.
Sir, can you repeat once more what you
So
said?
you
Yes, I
told
didn't
in
got
the,
your query.
so you told in the ITC clarifications. So the what is available, what is it to for ITC to carry forward? All these things you told that you are carried from 2A. GSTR 2A, but it
No,
should be
table 8.
it should be 2B,
Table
no?
8. Sir. Table 8 of GSTR-9. Table 8 of GSTR-9 is still auto-populated based on GSTR-2A. So for that table 8 of GSTR-9, 8C, which you are showing ITC carry forward and all, it should be based on GSTR-2A.
For
Then
example,
comes your table.
no. I am eligible only if available in the GSTR 2B. Am I right?
Yeah, yes, sir. You are eligible only when it is reflecting in 2B.
2B. So you are telling that the data fetched from the 2A. That's why I have doubt. So the
Table 8.
my
table
vendor
8.
my vendor can file the GST not, but if you not paid in filed in GS 3B, so I cannot take input tax credit. Okay.
Yeah, sir. Correct.
So that's why I ask actually you are fetching the data from 2B or 2A. 2B
So
only, for example, if the vendor has filed 2B, then I cannot, if I not received the invoice or material, I cannot take input tax. I have to carry for next month. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Pawan speaking.
Hello.
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 Yeah. So my question is, so all the ITC data you're fetched from 2A or 2B for carry forward purpose.
So ITC carry forward, we need to disclose in 3 places. One is your table 13 of GSTR-9.
Okay.
And then is your table 8C of GSTR-9 and table 12C of GSTR-9C. 3 places are there. Now, when we go to table 8 of GSTR-9, it is still been happening on the basis of GSTR-2A. Table 8 of GSTR-9 is still happening. As of now, government has not changed that format of 2A from 2B. Table 8.
No. Nowadays,
So
if you see that, no,
there,
1 minute. Nowadays, if you see the 2A and 2B, there will be differences there, no?
Yes, sir. Sure, there will be difference because what you said is correct. Until and unless your supplier didn't pay the tax, you can't claim the ITC. That is correct. So you have to carry forward. Those all details will form part of your table 13.
My question
table
here,
13 of GSTR-9.
my question here, my vendor has not filed it. And why I have to carry forward?
Hello.
Anyway, it is not available in
Why?
the 2B.
Okay, wait, sir. What happened? You are filing based on GST. When you are filing your GSTR 3B, ITC detail, you are filing on the basis of 2B auto-populated, correct?
Yes.
Now, in that case, when my supplier has not filed their GSTR 3B, I have to show it as a temporary reversal in 4B2.
Okay.
So I will show it is a temporary reversal under 4B2 and I will claim when my supplier file the 3B.
No. So, for example, this month, GS 2A, 2B will match. So I will eligible for total input tax credit. So I have
Three,
no.
let's
that-
keep it simple. We are discussing 99C. When we do 99C, we do our RICO based on GSTR-2A because GSTR-2A give us invoice-wise data and 2B on the filing date. Okay.
Okay.
When we are doing our GSTR-9 we do our RICO with GSTR-2A. We identify which are the which are the transaction on which we have not availed ITC. We write it as only in portal. We mark it that these are the transaction we didn't avail the ITC. Now on which we haven't availed ITC in 22-23, we check whether have we availed in 23-24 or not. If suppose we have availed in 23-24, then obviously I will report in my table 13 that this ITC of 22-23 I claim in 23-24 plus ITC which is missed to be claimed, and as I have now time till 30th November to claim, obviously you are going to report there and you are going to claim. That disclosure also I will give in table 13. But for 99C, we do RICO with 2A, but keeping in mind eligibility part means that my supplier should have filed the return. It is duly reflecting in GSTR 2A. It is duly my supplier has paid the tax to the government. I am in possession of the invoice. I have received good service. All keeping in line in compliance with all those. We identify those ITC and accordingly we report in GSTR 99C for the purpose of carry forward.
No, I have no, I am not so why I am asking, for in the month of example September 2B. So the eligible credit is 100 rupees. It is available in the GST portal, but I have received the goods only for 90 rupees. Okay. I have to show the 100 rupees credit eligible and 10 rupees not taken and 90 rupees I have
to reversal, temporary.
Temporary reversal of 10 rupees and 90 rupees I taken credit for the current month. Okay, yes, so sir. It will be carry on next month. But in the GS, it will match with end of the year. It will match with the 2B and my credit. So if the vendor has not yet filed, if I taken as per 2A, my vendor is not yet filed up to last financial year. So how do I disclose that my match, my credit will be defer, no?
If so it is reflecting in GSTR 2A.
So I have to
no.
You
are saying your supplier has not paid tax.
No. What I'm telling now, this month onwards, we have to discuss what is the eligible credit, what is the temporary reversal credit we have to show, no? Hello?
Yes, sir.
It should be shown, it should be based on the GST 2B or GST 2B I have to show in the returns.
2B.
GSTR 3B will be based on GSTR 2B.
Yeah, that's fine. So based on 2B only, I have to disclose this is my eligible credit for the month of September. At least 100 rupees and 10 rupees temporary reversal and 90 rupees available for the current month and utilities for output liability. 10 rupees I will take next month credits. So it should be based on 2B. It will match. It will match with. If I take 2A, so if my counterpart is not filed the return,
sir,
how it will match?
Madam, can I take this question? Can I take this question and finish it in 1 minute?
Okay.
Sir,
okay,
namaste, sir. Namaste, sir.
Yeah.
What you have to, you should not, from January 2022, you forget about 2A, sir. You should not take to consider 2A. Always believe in 2B. In your case, 100 rupees is there, 90 rupees you took, 10 rupees you have taken next month. Finish there and there, it is matching with your 9. You do not bring 2A into picture because it is not safe. And as you know, 2A is dynamic, it is changing. So forget about 2A, always believe in 2B. Whatever is in 2B is whatever God is giving you. That's it. That is final.
What you told is correct, but your team has told that is taken from a 2A to A. That's why that is the ask. I am asking this question.
No. What they meant was 8A is nothing but consolidation of 2B, sir. 2B name is month 2B, but if we consolidate 12 months 2B, Act is calling it as 8A. That's it.
Okay. So they told 2A. That's why I doubt that. That's why I am asked raised this question. Okay, understood.
Okay.
Excuse me. Consolidation of 2B is 8A. Excuse me.
So let's now to the for AOPS. So can I take a question?
Hello.
Hello.
Anybody here?
Yeah.
Sir, when we're doing the 9A 9C reconciliation, if
Okay.
it any, say when we are doing this 9 and 9C reconciliation,
Okay.
uh, if the any figures resulted in excess input credit,
Okay.
so that excess input credit balance would be carried forward to next 23-24 when we are actually filing 9 and 9C. Is it? Can you repeat once again?
Okay. Repeat.
Say, when we're doing this 9 and 9C reconciliation for the current financial 2023, if any of the amount results into excess input credit, which we are not aware, these figures which you have got on account of when we're doing the 9C reconciliation, this excess unavailed input credit balance that will sit as opening balance for 23-24 9 C, or else we can show next month in 3B. Hello.
Sir, 2 minutes, sir. Madam, response.
Hello.
Hello.
Can I hear? Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Can
Sir,
yes, madam, please.
sir, can you repeat your question once?
See, when we are filing this 9 and 9C, suppose we just imagine
Yes, sir.
we have found there are certain figures which result into excess input credit which can be carried forward as per 9C. That
Okay, sir.
reconciliation attempt
Hmm.
that has to be carried forward as to opening balance of 23-24 when we are actually going for the next financial GSTR-9 9MC, or else this closing balance we can take it for next month when we are doing current year's GSTR 3B.
Sir,
Like for
you
example,
should take in current year.
no, for example, madam,
You have.
tell me, madam. Tell me, madam.
You are saying there is certain transaction on which you missed out to claim ITC in 22-23. So that ITC which you have missed out to claim, you can claim in your GSTR 3B, now filing your September month and October month
No.
GSTR 3B.
That is assume that I have forgotten. I will this will come out. This I will reveal when I am actually filing next month. So obviously, when we are doing 9 and 9 reconciliation, that will result into some of the input credit which I have not availed during financial 2023. So that whatever the closing balance that will be reflected as opening balance in when in 9C next financial year 2024.
Which ITC is left out, which you are going to claim in 23-24 in
No.
9-9C in table.
Yes. That time only that is that now after doing a lot of exercises I could not able to find out. But when I'm doing actually 9 and 9C, that time I will come to know these are all the input credits which I should have supposed to avail in 2023. But that actually revealed in next month when I'm doing the 9 and 9C. So that excess input credit balance what we should do? Can I use that when I'm filing GSTR 3B December 3B, or else that closing balance I should show as opening balance in next 23-24 GSTR 9?
Once I get a clarification, then probably
You now only you have to do your
That's right.
Okay.
Okay. ठीक है, Professor. Thank you so much.
Okay.
now only you have to do, sir, your ITC reconciliation for the purpose of ECRS. I hope so you know that 30th November is the last date for electronic ECRS reporting, electronic credit and reversal claim. So,
Okay.
sir, you have, as you will be doing the reconciliation, you are just saying you came to know after doing 99C in December month. So
Correct,
once
correct.
the credit you have missed out to claim is a loss credit, it cannot be claimed. If you claim before 30th November, it's a law. Whenever we furnish our GSTR 3B, we furnish summary of ITC claim. Over there, we don't disclose transaction wise. So
Okay.
even though if it is missed out, but you can do the planning that you can show that those missed out ITC of 22-23 were claimed during the period April to October, and you
Okay.
can shift the October ITC toward the November and December. But it's just a manner of representation.
Okay. Okay.
Once lost, if you could not claim before 30th November, it's a loss, it's a lapse ITC.
That means
But you can do the planning in the
that means whatever the April to October, which we are going to cover in November. So yeah, that 7 months reconciliation, we will get it in when we are filing 9 and 9C. Correct, no, madam? That input credit, correct, no?
you have to take care of it.
Okay.
Madam, a small doubt regarding the same ITC. Now, current year ITC, if I want to claim next year, we'll show under 8C, then followed by table 13, and followed by 12C under 9C. That is a checklist, three place. But in the next year, coming to that next year, where are we showing the last year's carry forward ITC in 9? There is
Table 12 of IC consists of two tables, brought forward and carry forward.
yes, that is in 9C.
Table
What
12.
about 9?
Now GSTR-9, there is a no manner of showing previous year ITC claim in this year. When we report table 8C, table 8C of GSTR-9, over there we show net off, means last year ITC claim in this year ITC carry forward in next year. Net off of that we show in 8C, and we keep our working to show that these are the ITC of previous year I claim this year, and this I carry forward. So 8C take care of that net ITC of last year.
Okay,
And table 12.
Okay, but what we are doing is, in general parlance, to avoid that system generated notice under 8D, we are showing it under table 6 others.
Table 6 other reversals.
No. Table 7 is reversal. Okay. Table 6 is other ITC.
Acha, other ITC you are showing. So
other may we are showing the last year ITC which we are carry forwarding, so that 8D is not giving the difference.
But sir, 6B is auto-populated, which is based on your GSTR 3B, which is a total of ITC you have claimed irrespective of the fact it is a previous year or this year. So there will be difference due to 6 that others. You are not getting any difference. You would be getting difference at the end of the total.
No, we are reducing, say for suppose 10 rupees, 22-23, I carry forward to 23-24. So coming to 23-24, I will reduce that 10 rupees in 6B and put that same 10 rupees in 6M others. So my net is same. So my 8D will not show the 10 rupees carry forward ITC when comparing to 8A. Is that
okay?
Is that
all other ITC
6MA we are showing, so that we are avoiding one step of system auto generated invoices notices of 8D. Is that a correct process? Can we do that, or should we not do that?
Sir, in that if you are talking about 6M, it's basically for ITC 01 and ITC 02. It is in case of transfer over there, table 6M to be disclosed. as per the instruction given in your GSTR-9. Means the instruction which the department has given, only ITC 01 and ITC 02. Previous year ITC, though claim in this year, will form part of 6B only.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay. Then it will always show a difference under 8D, no, madam? For the next
Yeah,
year,
it will show. That's why 8C when we show now, over there we show net impact. Last carry forward and brought forward net impact we show over there. 8C.
8C.
Ah.
So current
It's
year
not
8C,
only
should I
consist
write
of carry
minus?
forward.
Should we
You
write?
can write.
Okay, 8C we can give minus figure.
Negative. But
Okay.
you just maintain the repo of it.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, madam. Thank you.
Hello. Ma'am, can I take a question, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Ma'am, if the business has shifted from regular to composition scheme or vice versa within the same financial year, what are the implications for your annual return? How to computations do that?
Saying you have been from composition scheme, you have shifted to regular.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Should I repeat the question, ma'am?
If you have shifted, then means what you want to know. You shifted there.
Regular to composition scheme.
Okay, regular to composition.
What are the implications in annual return and what are the changes?
Okay. So if you shifted from regular to composition, at the regular time, whatever the ITC which you have availed, and if anything in lying in electronic credit ledger, you have to reverse it and make it 0, 1. Second, if any stock is lying as on the date of conversion of your composition scheme, and that stock, if any stock is lying against which you have availed the ITC, to that extent, that ITC availment, you have to reverse it and pay it in cash.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Ma'am, I think we have reached to the end of the session. We can now close the session.
Okay,
Excuse me, madam. Excuse me. Hello.
yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Sorry to disturb you. There is a last question. Actually, this is not a part of this 9 or 9B. This ITC for filing of job work return is a compulsory. Once in 6 months, we file no ITC for job work material. It is compulsory to file.
Compulsory, but now it is compulsory, though most of the people are not complying with it.
Correct. Because in I went to other company that that they consider donation, it is not compulsory to file ITC for. But it's I don't know why, madam.
So there is nothing mentioned that it is optional. Nowhere in law it is mentioned it's optional. The law has prescribed ITC 04, it need to be filed, but most of the industry are non-compliance with it. It's not
That's
only
right,
multiple.
But with the notices being getting from government, because so far now none of the companies not getting any notices for.
Sir, wait. This area also the government will come into. Wait, sir. It's better you keep complying. If you haven't complied, start complying.
Okay, it's 25,000 per return, right? That fine. 25,000 rupees per fine. Okay, madam. Fair enough. Yeah. Thank you, madam.
Madam, one more small doubt. If you come to table 10, 11, 12 heading.
Yes, sir.
It is saying particulars of the transaction for the financial year declared in the returns of the next financial year. Until now, we are thinking it as September. Is it for 22-23? Is it November? Or still September adjustments are only?
Yes, it's November. No,
only
sir.
for this year,
ma'am,
or for future years also?
For future year also, it will be November.
Okay, so any adjustments up to November 3
is
return.
allowed.
So matlab mera December 20 tak I can adjust, huh?
No, sir. Till 30th November, whichever return is filed. Return need to be filed before 30th November.
So which means October return only. Which means October return. Final adjustments can be made only in October 3B return.
Yeah, October 3B and October GSTR. That's the last option we are having.
But this should have been the November 20th. No, why they are giving November 30th? Because when you are filing October,
no, late returns are also there, no sir. Late returns, people who are filing late return, they're giving chance.
Okay, fine, got it. Fair enough. Yeah, thanks for the clarification.
Thank you, madam.
Yeah. Thank you. So we are concluding for the day. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining.